Welcome to Sage's Vitamins. It's Capital Sage, and now that we're on the same page. Today I want to talk about something that might seem kind of common sensey, but I'm going to say that some people need to hear it, and even me in certain circumstances, which is why I thought about it. What I want to talk about today is how to create harmony within a community. What I mean by community is when you are around a bunch of people, different personalities, different levels of authority, different circumstances, different beliefs. So I want to talk about how to create harmony, and these are not all the ways, but I'm going to tell you one that I thought about, that I thought was very potent and that I wanted to share. You create harmony by respecting other people's psychological levels. Let me get into it, because right now it might sound like I'm saying folks are stupid. I'm not saying anybody's stupid. I said psychological, not intelligence. Listen, the psychological level is people's belief systems, basically. When I say respect people's belief systems, I'm not saying agree with people's belief systems. I'm saying to acknowledge that they have different belief systems than you, and to accommodate that in a way of how you approach them. This is not saying in any way that you agree with them. This is not saying in any way that anybody's right. It's saying that a way to create harmony in community is to respect others' psychological levels. Let me give you an example. When you're around older people, you might think that an older person may not know what they're talking about, which is neither here nor there, because you're probably being young and dumb. Sometimes they might not know what they're talking about. But the belief system that they have is that I have a certain level of authority because I'm older, and you should respect that, right? So a way to have harmony versus a way to have disharmony in that situation. A way to have harmony would be to say, okay, if I'm going to talk to this person and I want to get a positive response, I should at least acknowledge that they expect me to respect how they feel about their age. So you might, say, I just want to ask you because, I'm sure that and you've been through things, if you want to ask them for something. Or if you say, I would like to know what you think about this. You're acknowledging that they feel that way about the authority that they have over their age and over the situation because of their age. This is different than thinking that you have to agree with them. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But a way to create harmony is to acknowledge that person's psychological belief system and then approach it accordingly. If you approach a situation where you know that the same thing with an older person, you know that they feel that they have authority because they're older, but you just decide you're going to say, forget that, I'm finna talk however I want to talk, and you just deal with it. You are disrupting the harmony of that person's psychological level, and you're going to have to deal with that, is what I'm saying. It's not your fault, but it's a fact that they believe that. And where you become responsible for your part in the harmony is that you know certain things, and so you should address them in the way that they present themselves with your own intelligence. What do you want to convey because of your own psychological level? What is your psychological sentiment? And then decide the harmony of how those two things can exist, where you're still being at your psychological standard and you're acknowledging what someone else's standard is. And then comes that beautiful word, compromise. This creates harmony for everybody, because you're not saying you believe what they believe. They're not saying they believe what you believe, but you're saying, I understand that you feel this way. So let me show you respect by acknowledging that you feel this way. I think that what disrupts harmony a lot in social situations is that you may feel that you have to prove that person wrong, or that you have to prove that you're right. And you just might feel like, I mean, we're going to have to duke it out. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the harmony is accepting that the person feels that way. Does that make sense? I think it makes a whole lot of sense. And it's just a good starting point. Like, these are things you would have to delve on and expand upon yourself. But it's a good place to start. This is what I would do. First, observe yourself. What are your psychological standards about how you would like to be interacted with in social situations? Because it comes from there first. You can't understand someone else if you don't understand yourself. So decide, what are your standards of how you would like to be treated, and what do you believe about yourself, which is a whole chapter of a book. But then the next chapter would be observing others and social structures, which we all have a grasp on because we've lived in this world, for however many years. But it's like, observe what people expect from you, and then have a plan of how you interact with what they expect from you. I think a lot of conflict comes from people just feeling like, I'm not going to do that. I don't believe that. So, we just going to have to figure this out. But the harmony comes in and just acknowledging that it's there, and then deciding the best way to interact with it. No one's right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's just the path. So that's Sage's Vitamin for today. I hope that helped you. Let's create some harmony this week. It's capital Sage. Now that we're on the same page, I love you.